I once again welcome you all to MSP lecture series on main group chemistry. This is 56th lecture in the series of 60 lectures of 30 minutes each. Today I am going to talk to you on organometallic compounds of main group elements. Of course, by definition an organometallic compound should contain one or more metal to carbon bonds, direct metal to carbon bonds. So, let us look into the organometallic chemistry of main group elements group wise. Group 1 organometallic compounds are of particular importance among the main group elements because of their wide application in organic synthesis. Many of them are commercially available as solutions in hydrocarbon solvents. Solvent choices for reactions involving organometics of alkali metals are critical. One has to be very careful while choosing the solvents to perform reactions using the organometallic compounds of especially alkali and alkaline earth metals. For example, N-butyl lithium is decomposed by diethyl ether to give butane, ethylene and lithium ethoxide. So, I will show you of course, here the culprit is beta hydrogen elimination. So, let us take N-butyl lithium. Okay. So, let me write N-butyl lithium in a different way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now let us say ether binds here. When you add ether, what happens? Let me write ether in a little different way. So, now try to interact here, of course, one another ethyl group is here. So, this essentially leads to the formation of this hydrogen is essentially abstracted here. Once this comes here, this becomes double bond, and in this process H comes, that is N, okay, and plus ethylene comes. It comes out, plus we have lithium, okay, lithium ethoxide. So, these kind of reactions are quite common. As a result, one has to be extremely careful while choosing the solvents in performing these reactions. Alkali metal organometallics are extremely reactive and must be handled in air and moisture free environments, and also one should use very dry solvents, organic solvents. For example, methyl sodium burns explosively in air, and the preparation involves the treatment of alkyl or aryl chlorides with excess of lithium or 2 equivalents of lithium. The typical reaction is you take, for example, butyl chloride and treat this one with 2 equivalents of lithium, one to abstract lithium chloride, it precipitates out, and of course, here hydrocarbon solvent is important. It gives N-butyl lithium. This is the typical synthetic procedure for the preparation of alkyl lithium reagents. Lithium alkyls are polymeric both in solution and in the solid state. The structures of tertiary butyl lithium and methyl lithium are tetrameric in nature, and N-butyl lithium when mixed with tetramethyl ethylene diamine gives a polymeric chain. So, tetramethyl ethylene diamine is known as TMEDA or TMEDA. This TMEDA link cubane units together through the formation of lithium to nitrogen bonds. I would show you after a couple of slides the structures of these reagents. Alkyl lithium compounds are soluble in organic solvents, whereas sodium and potassium salts are insoluble, but are solubilized by using chelating ligands such as TMEDA or in some cases dimethoxyethane. So, addition of tetramethyl ethylene diamine may break down the aggregate of lithium alkyls to give lower nuclearity complexes. For example, N-butyl lithium To start with, this will be tetrameric in nature. So, having a cuban structure with alternate corners being occupied by lithium and butyl groups, and this one with TMEDA breaks this aggregate to give butyl lithium TMEDA twice. So, that means you can write something like this here. Okay, this is what exactly happens. Of course, to characterize these compounds for assaying the purity, nuclear magnetic resonance is a very useful tool to understand their structure in solution. And we have here two isotopes of lithium 6Li with nuclear spin I equals 1 and also 7 lithium with nuclear spin I equals half. Of course, 13C abundance is only less than 1%, that is I equals half. Okay, so, here NMR can be conveniently used to see whether lithium is there or not in a given compound. So, structures I have shown here, tetrameric structure, and here this red one represents the lithium and this one represent organic fragment or carbon. If it is methyl lithium, it is CH3. And of course, here you can assume the tetrahedral relationship between 4 lithium atoms here, and if you see each triangular face is occupied by methyl lithium. So, I will elaborate the structure later, and of course, when you add TMEDA, it can break into this fashion through the chelation of this bidentate ligand. So, detailed studies of organolithium reagents have revealed that the system is far from simple. However, it is possible to isolate crystals of either N-butyl TMEDA dimer or tetramer of N-butyl lithium having TMEDA with infinite structure. In the case of methyl lithium tetramer, the addition of tetramethyl diamine does not lead to cluster breakdown, and the X-ray structure confirms the composition as MELI4 times with 2 TMEDA. So, the presence of both tetramers and the amine molecules in the crystal lattice. Of course, if you want to see more information, one can look into this article, Journal of American Chemical Society, 1993, 115 volume and page number 1573. So, lithium alkyls and aryls are very useful reagents in organic synthesis and also in making corresponding carbon compounds of main group elements. And lithium alkyls are important catalysts in synthetic rubber industry for the stereospecific polymerization of alkenes. You can see addition of ethylene diamine to methyl lithium results in this polymeric structure having tetramethyl ethylene diamine acting as a bridged bidentate ligand. So, this is an infinite chain here. Out of 4 lithiums, 2 are coordinated by these nitrogen atoms of TMEDA. So, organic compounds such as terminal alkynes which contain relatively acidic hydrogen atom form salts with alkali metals. For example, if you take butane, and treat with sodium, it forms plus H2, and if you take propine, potassium amide, it gives potassium salt. Of course, treating cyclopentadiene with sodium hydride leads to the formation of sodium Cp, that is Na plus and Cp minus H2. So, that means essentially C5 H6 plus Na gives NaCp plus half H2. So, this is how one can prepare sodium and potassium organometallic compounds. And sodium Cp is pyrophoric in air, but air sensitivity can be lessened by complexing the sodium with DMe. For example, if you take NaCp and if you add dimethoxyethane, it forms a complex so this is polymeric in nature. So, this is how it looks like. You can see this is dimethoxyethane. Okay, so this acts as a chelating ligand, and you have this kind of polymeric structure, one dimensional chain structure. And of course, another important method of preparation of methyl sodium is through transmetallation reaction. Dimethyl mercury on treatment with sodium gives NaMe plus mercury. So, one can use conveniently for obtaining pure compound of methyl sodium, one should use transmetallation method. Okay. Now, what is pyrophoric? Pyrophoric material is one that burns spontaneously when exposed to air. So, let us look into organoberyllium compounds. Organoberyllium compounds also can be conveniently prepared using transmetallation method. For example, I have shown here dimethyl mercury on treatment with beryllium gives dimethyl beryllium plus mercury. This reaction has to be carried out at a temperature of 383 Kelvin, and similarly phenyl lithium on treatment with beryllium dichloride gives diphenyl beryllium through the formation of two equivalents of lithium chloride, and this reaction has to be carried out in diethyl ether. In vapor phase, dimethyl beryllium is monomeric with a linear carbon beryllium carbon bond and with the bond angle is almost close to 180, and here beryllium to carbon bond distance is 170 picometer. The solid state structure is polymeric, resembles that of BeCl2, and of course, the treatment of sodium Cp with beryllium dichloride gives dicyclopentadienyl beryllium, a sandwich compound similar to ferrocene through the formation of two equivalents of sodium chloride. The X-ray diffraction carried out at 128 K suggests that it has two different type of binding with Cp. One is eta 1 and another one is eta 5. You can see here eta 1 Cp where it is monocoordinated, whereas here all the 5 carbon atoms are coordinated to beryllium, haptosity is 5 and here haptosity is 1. And however, 1H NMR spectrum shows that all proton environments are equivalent even at 163 Kelvin. That indicates, that means there is a fluxional process in which eta 1 is becoming eta 5 and eta 5 is becoming eta 1. So, there is a process is there. So, also solid state structure shows the beryllium atom is disordered over two equivalent sites, and NMR data can be interpreted in terms of fluxional process in which beryllium atom moves between these two sites. That means eta 1 and eta 5 beryllium atom is switching. That means if you designate Cp1 and Cp2, so Cp2 acts as Cp eta 5 for a while and then it becomes eta 1, and similarly Cp1 acts as eta 1 for a while and it becomes eta 5 for a while. You can see here beryllium structure, here it is, of course it forms 3 centered 2 electron bond here similar to diborane, and it extends through the chain to give one dimensional polymer, and this is very similar to beryllium chloride in solid state. And here you can see here two beryllium atoms, that means it shows two positions. Of course, in this position, if you consider this is eta 5 and this is eta 1, whereas for this one, in this position it is eta 5 and this is eta 1. So, however, if you go for a bulky cyclopentadienyl, that is pentamethyl cyclopentadiene, here it possesses a sandwich structure with both rings are coplanar, very similar to ferrocene. Of course, one can understand in a better way this structure. Let me write this structure for you. For example, I can so here beryllium atom is there, and now so something like this. Of course, here you have all okay, and next in the structure what it shows is okay, one is something like this. So here if I put one here, okay, so basically it is going like this, whereas if I put one here, okay, so here it and now it is eta 1 and now this one is eta 1. So that means eta 1 for this one and eta 5, whereas here it is eta 5 for this one and it is eta 1. So in this way what happens, it switches, as a result it X-ray depicts two positions here, distorted geometry with two positions are here. This is because of the fluxional process in which there is a steady exchange of eta 1 becoming eta 5 and eta 5 becoming eta 1. So let us look into organomagnesium compounds. Of course, alkyl and aryl magnesium halides are extremely well known on account of their use in synthetic chemistry. Of course, Grignard reagents having general composition of RMGX is quite well known, and they can be readily prepared by treating activated magnesium with alkyl or aryl halides in ether solvents such as diethyl ether. So transmetallation is useful means of preparing pure Grignard reagents. For example, if you take mercury and treat with alkyl mercury bromide, it gives mercury plus RMgBr. Similarly, magnesium, when it is treated with dialkyl mercury, it gives dialkyl magnesium. So, 2 coordination at magnesium in R2Mg is observed only when the R groups are sufficiently bulky. In fact, it is very interesting to analyze the structure of RMGX. RMGX, it appears like 2 coordinated, it is not actually 2 coordinated, since the reactions are carried out in ether. It has a structure like this, where here so in solution Grignard reagents have a tetrahedral geometry at magnesium with the 2 coordination sites being occupied by ethers, which essentially are hard bases. They interact with hard acids such as magnesium. Okay, so that's the reason in order to stabilize RMGX, okay, one has to use a solvent such as ether, diethyl ether or tetrahydrofuran. Okay, that means RMGX are essentially solvated and magnesium is typically tetrahedral. This is ET, EMgBr, 2Et2O, one can write, or pH phenyl magnesium bromide 2Et2O. Okay. And CP2 magnesium compounds are also known. They have a staggered sandwich structure. one should be careful about handling Grignard reagents because solutions of Grignard reagents may contain several species. RMGX, R2MG, MGX2, also RMG with two bridging halides having a dimeric structure of this type. Okay. So, which are further complicated by solvation. The position of equilibrium between these species are markedly dependent on concentration, temperature and the solvent employed in that particular reaction, because strongly donating solvents favor monomeric species in which they coordinate to the metal center. So, for example, this equilibrium is very important. RMGX is always in equilibrium with R2MG plus MGX2. So, here this is the type of structure one can think of when it is in equilibrium. So, now the question is how to take out magnesium chloride from this one, so that R2MG can be used in organic synthesis. The best method one can look for is treatment of this compound with dioxane that results in the precipitation of magnesium chloride dioxide, leaving behind pure dialkyl magnesium in the solution, so that that can be filtered and taken for further reaction with other suitable organic reagents to do some coupling reactions or whatever the organic synthesis that is planned. Although I wanted to tell the synthetic methodology in the beginning, I waited for a couple of compounds introduction, because without showing some of the precursors that are used in the synthesis of organometallic compounds, I thought it is inappropriate to start giving the methodologies for the preparation of organometallic compounds. But now if you can see, alkali and alkaline earth metal organometallic reagents are extensively used in the organometallic preparation of almost transition elements as well as p block elements. In view of this one, first I spoke about the organometallic compounds of alkali metals and alkaline earth metals. So, now let us look into the synthetic routes that are available for the preparation of organometallic compounds of main group elements. The most organometallic compounds can be synthesized by using one of the four metal to carbon bond forming reactions, using a metal with an organic halide, metal displacement, metathesis and hydrometallation. That means treatment of metal with an organic halide and metal displacement or transmetallation, metathesis and hydrometallation. These are the four important methods that are available for the preparation or synthesis of organometallic compounds of transition elements or main group elements. So, let us look into these methodologies one at a time. First, let us look into the reaction with metal and transmetallation. So, here the net reaction of an electropositive metal M and a halogen substituted hydrocarbon. So, for example, here the general reaction can be written in this fashion: 2M plus Rx, okay, alkyl or aryl so this gives Mr and Mx. Okay, this is a typical reaction. Let me give a couple of examples here. For example, lithium on treatment with methyl chloride gives methyl lithium. Of course, it is tetramer. So, let me write in this fashion, or one can also write 4 times plus 4 LiCl. Okay. So, similarly magnesium, when it is treated with methyl bromide, it gives CH3 MgBr. Okay. So, organometal halide with of course, this method can also be extended to aluminum, zinc as well. Okay. So, similar to Grignard reagent Ca3MgBr, one can make Ca3AlBr or Ca3 zinc Ca3ZnBr. If one metal atom takes the place of another one, it is known as transmetal reaction or transmetallation reaction. Suppose if one metal takes the place of another, it is known as transmetallation reaction. M plus Mr gives M plus Mr. Okay, so this is a typical transmetallation reaction. Let us look into an example here. Gallium is taken. This is treated with dimethyl mercury. Of course, one can also write dimethyl mercury in this fashion. It gives 3 mercury plus gallium comes below aluminum, trimethyl gallium. So, transmetallation is favorable when the displacing metal is higher in the electrochemical series than the displaced metal. So, essentially in that case what happens? Stabilization of carbon anion takes place. As a result, transmetallation is very smooth. Okay, so, let us look into the second method, is metathesis. The metathesis of an organometallic compound Mr and a binary halide EX is a widely used synthetic route in organometallic chemistry. The typical reaction I have shown here, Mr plus EX gives ER plus MX, and here for example if you take methyl lithium and treat this one with SiCl4, 4 equivalents of LiCl comes through the formation of 4 Si methyl bonds, that is tetramethylsilane. Similarly, trimethyl aluminum, when it is treated with boron trifluoride, aluminum trifluoride is formed through the formation of trimethyl boron. So, these are the 2 examples. This method of treating a lithium alkyl reagent with halides of main group elements and transition elements is termed as metathesis. Metathesis reaction can frequently be predicted from electronegativity or hard and soft acid base considerations. So, these hydrocarbon groups tend to bond to the more electronegative element. So, the halogen favors the formation of ionic compounds with more electropositive metal. So, in brief, the alkyl and aryl groups tend to migrate from the less to the more electronegative element. Okay, so, that means in a typical metathesis reaction, one should look into the electronegativity difference between M and E. For example, here I have given, so where Mr is there, if M is lithium, electronegativity is 0.98, and in case of magnesium it is 1.31, in the case of aluminum it is 1.61, and in the case of zinc it is 1.66. Now, let us come to the main group element E. Silicon, boron, arsenic and phosphorus are given. In case of silicon it is 1.90, in case of boron it is 2.04, in case of arsenic it is 2.18, and in case of P 2.19. That means carbon has a tendency to move from lower electronegative substrate to higher electronegative substrate, so that the carbon anion is more stabilized, okay, so that it can get rid of its negative charge. So, this is the strategy in reaction involving metathesis route. So, when the electronegativities are similar, the correct outcome may be predicted with care by considering the combination of softer element with organic group and harder element with fluoride or chloride. That means, if the electronegativity between the 2 metals between which this organic group has to be transferred are very similar, then one has to take care in identifying the soft element and the hard element and their tendencies. For example, I repeat again, by considering the combination of softer element with organic group and harder element with fluoride or chloride. So, that means an insoluble product or reaction may change the outcome. Okay. So, for example, SnPH4 THF plus HgBr2 in THF gives HgPHBr solid plus pH 3 SnBr, it goes into the solution THF. Phenyl mercury bromide is insoluble in THF, so that it precipitates out. So once we have this kind of information, choosing the right kind of reagents and performing the reaction would be very easy, so that one can get the required organometallic compound in its pure form. So with this I stop here. In my next lecture I will continue to look into more organometallic chemistry of main group elements. Thank you very much.